A strikingly similar incident occurred, as reported by the November 1983 issue of Fire Journal, on November 8, 1982, in Biloxi, Mississippi's Harrison County Jail. A similar one-story county jail facility had undergone renovations the year prior to the fire. It was fire-resistive concrete construction similar to that of the Maury County Jail. The interior finishes were non-combustible except for the rigid polyurethane foam lining the two padded cells. There were 20 cells for a maximum of 102 inmates. These were either padded, security, bullpen, or drunk tank cells. The fire started in a padded cell that had allowed limited contents, including a fire-retardant mattress on the floor and the inmates' clothing. Emergency and fire protection systems, besides sprinklering and electrically controlled locks for cell doors, were well laid out throughout the facility. 2 remote exits were present, but 2 sets of keys were required to open cell doors and a door leading to a west exit. The fire protection system included 11 photoelectric smoke detectors with 135-degree heat detectors in the corridor outside the cells to prevent tampering. A fire alarm control panel was installed near a pull station behind the desk of the jail officer. This system also shut down the HVAC system, which consisted of 5 roof-mounted units, or 1 per zone. 5 portable fire extinguishers, 2 in the kitchen and 3 near confinement, were in the building. Emergency lighting and an electrical generator were also part of the life safety design. Officers were trained in evacuation procedure, and color-coded keys were used for cells. The procedure also maintained that a guard must watch an inmate in any padded cell light a cigarette with another cigarette and relinquish it back to the guard once smoked. The following is an excerpt from the article. On Saturday, November 7, 1982, the day prior to the fire, the occupant of the padded cell had been arrested and charged with being drunk in public. He was released on Sunday and rearrested on the same charge later that day. He was reportedly incoherent and reportedly had been confined because arresting officers believed that he was a danger to himself and others. He was being held for a commitment hearing scheduled for Monday and had been placed in the padded isolation cell PC-1 in the northeast corner of the jail confinement area. Throughout the evening, the inmate had reportedly been noisy and disruptive. At approximately 1:15 a.m., the jail officer closed the pass-through of the cell door because of the noise and the behavior of the inmate toward other inmates in nearby cells. At approximately 1:30 a.m., the jail officer sitting at the jailer's desk in the receiving area heard the occupant of PC-1 yelling, "Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!" The jail officer took the set of keys and entered the confinement area of the jail. He was followed by a second male jail officer and a jail trustee. As he approached the padded cell, he smelled light odor of smoke in the corridor, but saw no visible smoke. He placed the key in the cell's lock and unlocked the door. The jail officer reporting that when he pulled the door open approximately 2 inches, an explosion blew the door open, knocking him down the corridor. A large ball of fire rolled out of the cell, and the corridor instantly began to fill with thick black smoke. The occupant of the cell, who had apparently been huddling at the door beneath the vinyl-covered treated cotton mattress, scampered out of the cell and down the corridor to safety. The third jail officer, who had been approaching the security screen located near the jail officer's desk to lock the screen gate, witnessed the sudden fire development as the cell door was opened. She reported that an explosion-like noise accompanied the venting of fire into the corridor. She stated that she only had time to return approximately 12 feet to the desk, push the 0 key on the phone to connect with the Sheriff's Department Communications Center, and say, "Fire in the jail. Send the fire department." She reported that almost immediately thick black smoke began to fill the receiving area in which the jail officer's desk was located, and which served as the jail's main means of egress. The first 2 jail officers and the trustee, who were outside the jail at the time of the explosion, obtained 3 fire extinguishers and unsuccessfully attempted to fight the fire. The key on the keyring remained in the lock of the cell door. Repeated efforts to retrieve the key were unsuccessful because the cell door was engulfed by the fire coming from the cell. The thick black smoke filling the corridor finally forced them to retreat to the exterior of the building. All 3 jail officers and the trustee were temporarily incapacitated by inhaling smoke. The first fire department apparatus from the headquarters station, 7 blocks away, arrived at the jail at 1:34 a.m. Since all 3 jail officers were still affected by the smoke, one of the jail trustees donned the fire department's self-contained breathing apparatus, SCBA, and entered the building with firefighters.
The inmates started setting fires in the wastebaskets on the dormitory. At that time, the inmates were evacuated to the yard. They began breaking out windows and destroying property at that time. It was unsuccessful to get them all back secured in the dormitory. From that, they have destroyed property, set fires, buildings on fire. There are 34 staff members on the yard that are all accounted for. There are no staff and no inmate injuries. There are no hostages. Right now it is just a destruction of property at this time.